But the biggest misconception and the biggest limiting belief I had was that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Quasi here, and in this video I want to share with you the diet that changed my life. Why I want to share this video with you is because I used to struggle with getting the perfect diet that's going to help me maintain my focus, become better at the law of attraction, get a better physique even, just most people are just doing it just to even lose some weight, and there's nothing wrong with that. And back then when I was trying to get abs, I was trying to get ripped, I was looking for the best diet, and I didn't know what that was. So I tried a lot of different things. And first of all, I started with just eating less, and that didn't work because I was always falling back on that pattern. And my old eating habits came back from time to time, and I just didn't know why. So I tried next the ketogenic diet. And the ketogenic diet was a very high maintenance diet where you would only eat meat and foods with high fat and leaves and no carbs at all. So I did that for 7 days, and I actually lost 7 pounds within the first 7 days. And then I later realized that this wasn't sustainable, and also I was just not feeling enough mental clarity. I was just foggy all the time. I didn't feel good, and it's just not the best diet to follow. So even though I lost 7 pounds, I eventually found out that I started eating healthy and normally again, and then what happened was I gained all that 7 pounds within the first 2 days, and it was just water weight that I lost as a result of not eating carbohydrates. So that didn't help as well. Finally, what I found out was the intermittent fasting diet. And what the idea behind this diet is basically you have an 8-hour feeding period and a 16-hour fasting period. So what I did was from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. I would eat. So at 2 p.m. I would have my breakfast, and at 4 or 5 p.m. I'd have a snack, and then at 10 p.m. I'd have a dinner. And that's how my journey started with intermittent fasting. I did that for 1 or 2 years. I woke up first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. I would have a cup of coffee, and then I would feel some sort of indigestion because coffee is very acidic, and then my stomach would feel weird, but then I just kept doing it for a year anyways. And then even though my parents discouraged me to do it, they were like, oh, it's not good for you to drink coffee on an empty stomach. I was like, don't worry about it. Kino Body does it. And Kino Body is the guy that I learned how to do intermittent fasting from. And he was very influential and taught me a lot of things. So check him out if you don't know who it is. And intermittent fasting really helped me. It did. It helped me shred some fat and eventually get abs that summer. But still eating that 8-hour period was still sort of, it was a chore, because I would find that at 10 p.m. I would be so full, because now that I was eating 2 to 3 meals a day, but 2 big meals a day and 1 snack a day, I still had to stuff up around 2,500 calories at a period of 8 hours. And I found out that I was having my biggest meal at dinner, and if I did that, I would get sluggish at night, and then I couldn't fall asleep. I would just feel very, very full and very uncomfortable in my own body. And then if I switched that to 2 p.m. and I had my first big meal at 2 p.m., I would just feel sluggish all throughout the day until 10 p.m. And that didn't work out either. So what I started to do now is another variation of intermittent fasting, except I have a meal every 8 hours or so. So what I do is, first of all, when I wake up first thing in the morning, now I have a teaspoon of ghee, and then a teaspoon of honey, and then some Ayurvedic medicine, Cognivetta, that I found in Sedona. And what's this been doing for me? It's been helping me stay more productive, more focused. And if you haven't checked that video out where I talk about the foods that accelerate the law of attraction, click up here. And it's been helping me with the law of attraction too, and this diet has really changed my life. So every 8 hours is a very yogic diet, and you just let yourself get hungry. So the key idea is let yourself get hungry. There's no snacking at all. My first meal is at 11, and my last meal is at around 6, 6:30, maybe even 7. And always make sure to eat 4 hours before bed. And what I was doing before was I would eat at 10 p.m. and then go to bed at 11. I would just give myself 1 hour to digest. And food normally takes around 4 to 5 hours to digest fully if you're eating the right kinds of food. So if you're eating meat, forget about it. It's going to take you 24 to 72 hours even to fully digest it. After I started implementing this, I found out that I was much more lighter on my feet, much more alert, and I could focus more. And for breakfast, I have my breakfast at 11, and I have some eggs and omelette, and then some slices of toast, and at dinner, I might have some chicken and rice. And even though it's meat, I find that chicken is much lighter than beef or eating a lot of meat, and just keeps me with a high protein level. And some protein is necessary for all the regeneration in your body and whatever it is that you do day to day. So you could get protein from other sources, and if you follow a vegetarian diet, then that's amazing for you. Because I lift and I go to the gym, I find that my body needs a little more protein in order to rebuild the muscles. So I like to indulge in chicken. So my first meal is at 11 and my last meal is at 6:37. And I found out that this diet has really made me much more alert, and I live a more fulfilling life now as a result of changing my diet. I don't feel sluggish all the time. I don't feel like my body is hampering me from achieving my goals, and I can just power through. So I encourage you to find a diet that helps, and if you want to implement the eating 8 hours feeding period diet, then go for it, try it out, and let me know how it is. But the biggest misconception and the biggest limiting belief I had was that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Like back in the day when I would wake up, I would have breakfast before even brushing my teeth. Like I was that concerned with having breakfast and how important breakfast was. And why you don't want to do this is because when you eat first thing in the morning, what happens is your cortisol level is very high at that time. And if you eat right after you wake up, your appetite is going to spike. And if you can get into the habit of just eating less and less and eating with a fasting period in between, maybe even 8 hours. So if you can just stave off your hunger for the first 5 hours of the day, you'll find that you'll get into a more proactive creator mode, because now you're not letting food run your life. You're not being compulsive to food. So anything that makes you compulsive, anything that you're dependent on, work on eliminating that from your life, because then you will break free from the bondage of life and you will literally become the creator of your own reality. And I cannot stress that enough. Bringing in consciousness to everyday activities, changing my diet and not being dependent on food, not being dependent on entertainment and just watching TV all the time or playing video games all the time or anything that's made me dependent, not having stimulants like coffee all the time. That's helped me completely change my life. Like now I don't even drink coffee at all. I'll have a coffee every Sunday because I choose to have it, not because I need it to feel good. And you could also be cheating yourself, by saying, oh, you know what, I don't need it, but I choose to drink it every single day, every 5 hours of the day. I just choose to drink it. If you're lying to yourself, then that's completely up to you. That's your concern. But if you really want to make a change in your life, try to quit any sort of compulsive habits that you have and anything that you are basically a slave to. So with that, I hope this video helped, and I hope you'll try out this intermittent fasting diet. And if this works out for you, let me know in the comments below. And also, I'm growing a massive Facebook group where I'll be sharing all of these kinds of techniques and tricks that have helped me change my life. And if you're interested in that, click on the link in the description below. And I found out that this is important that you join a group, because I found out back in the day about the law of attraction. I was reading all of these books and I didn't know what to really do, and I wish I had a group to share it with. So we would love to see you there. Click to join. Also, the Reality Mastery Program is still open for enrollment, and I would love to see you at the free consult, which I'm offering still. And what the Reality Mastery Program is basically an identity shifting program where we take you from the current version of yourself to the desired version of yourself who is worthy and deserving of the goals that you've set for yourself. And why this is important is because becoming is one of the fundamental laws of the universe. Everything is in a state of constant becoming and being. If you can become the very thing that you want to be, then you'll subsequently attract that reality that you want. So with that, the free consult is still open, and we will diagnose how your law of attraction practices are right now, how you can improve and implement identity shifting right now. Because most people are just focused on techniques. What can I do? But not focused on what can I be. So with that, hope I see you at the free consult. Click on the link below to sign up. Till next time, peace.